I checked resistor and capacitor values in the horizontal circuitry and didn't find any problems. Swapped around 12 SN7s in the horizontal circuitry again. Really no improvements. So I started playing around with the controls and changing channels a bit, and I realized I made a mistake. I thought I was hearing some radio reception that I was on channel 6. Similarly, I thought when I heard a tone that I had this on the right channel with the signal generator, but no. I'm not sure what I'm picking up exactly. This thing might be a bit out of alignment. I think I'm just receiving some plain old FM radio stations, which are close to channel 6. And this is what I was trying to lock in when I was hearing the tone. I just was not having any luck. Well, if I just got over one with the channel. Oops. Switch this down, and voila. So I think something might be up a little bit with the way these channels are set up. So I was getting partial reception on an adjacent channel, and sound and the best picture are not quite in sync. So right now I got the signal generator on channel 4. And I'm kind of receiving the station on the adjacent one on here, which is probably tuned to 5 or 6. Let's see if we go up a notch with that. Huh. Curious. So they have this set up for channels 4 and 5, which contradicts what I had said a little bit earlier about they wouldn't have these set up for adjacent channels. So that is a bit unusual. So if that's 5, that's 4. 3, and then it bottoms out. So let's see what's that first channel set for. Almost wants to get channel 2, but not quite. Channel 3. No, so I don't know what this first position is set for. I'm not really able to get anything on it. Sort of almost kind of channel 2. So these slugs might very well be messed up. But clearly that's pretty well set for 4. That's 5. And this is what I thought was channel 6, but nope. Let's see about 7. Yep, it's set for channel 7. More or less. And this is set for channel 8. And the next one is set for channel 10. And channel 11. And the final position is set for 13. Alright, well. Cool. So, it looks like I'm not going to be able to get an over-the-air broadcast on channel 6 with this thing. But I'll see what I can do. Interesting. So this position can get both channel 6 and channel 5. I'm really surprised there's enough pull on the fine tuning to get both channels. Weird. Alright, well. So there's 6. If I kill this, yeah, we can kind of see something. Sound. Hook up a better antenna and see if I can pull it in. No doubt I gotta go through and check these tubes. I mean, considering that I already found some problems with some of these tubes, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the others have issues. I disconnected my test pattern generator, and I'm just going to hook up a couple 2.5 foot long clip leads. Oh yeah, that made quite a difference. Not great by any means, but hey, there's an image. It's funny, no matter how many TVs I've worked on, I honestly have no idea what to expect anymore when I turn these things on, or what goofy problems arise on first power up. Sometimes you think there's a serious problem and the set's dead, or there's some major problem and you just let it run for a while, you poke around with the controls, and then things kind of start coming back to life. I mean, for sure you can have dirty tube sockets. Not a bad idea to go through and spray a little deoxit into all the tube sockets and wiggle the tubes and clean the controls for sure. Save yourself a little bit of aggravation. And test the tubes, but I kind of like to just leave them all in there and see how it goes, and then do some experimenting and bit by bit get things running well. Cool. So I'm hoping with replacing any weak tubes, a little more control tweaking, this will be working pretty darn well. Well, I went through and tested all the tubes, and sure enough, that original 12 AT7 was completely dead. I mean, it had filament continuity, but air had leaked into it, and it was not functioning as a vacuum tube anymore, so that explained why it didn't work initially. Other tubes, some were a little marginal, replaced those, but the rest were okay. And I went through and replaced a few out-of-spec resistors in the IF and audio circuitry, and I've got it fired back up, and I've been tweaking things. And one thing I noticed is, and I've got it hooked up to an over-the-air converter box, and one thing I noticed right away is it's got fantastic sound, but really no picture. Now that's when this guy, I think, is on channel 3. We'll actually flip it over to channel 4. Hey, now we've got a picture. And I can dial in a pretty darn good picture. Should I tell you, really, really good picture. But now the sound's kind of crummy. Once I tuned it off a bit, it's better, but it's still not as booming as the sound was when I had the modulator on the other channel. Now the picture's kind of crummy, so again, I'm really thinking that somebody mucked with the channel tuners, which kind of stinks. It's kind of a pain, but I'm going to have to go through and do it. So, with all these slugs up here, I believe there's one for the local oscillator and one for bandpass. So it's not as easy as other sets where they have a little oscillator slug that you can tweak. Now this was a little more involved than that. So I believe that would be the bandpass slug going up to the antenna. Think of it kind of as a pre-selector, and I think those are the oscillator adjustments. At any rate, it is outlined in the alignment instructions, and I'll have to go through and do it. I think there might actually be 3 of these adjustments for some of the channels. It's a little confusing. I think the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think there's one over here. They're not all. I think one set of these is the oscillators, and the other are for the bandpass. I'm hoping that'll take care of it, because otherwise the set is working really, really well.
Oh, she'll be right down. They won't have the temerity to hold a conflict of interest argument. I'm mighty sure of that.
Yes, it isn't happening. Ricardo, tell Mrs. Castillejo the guests are waiting, please.
Well, there's a little bit of bunching up on this side. Could try swapping out 12SN7 for the horizontal oscillator. It generates a sawtooth wave, and looks like there's probably a little bit of ripple down on the left side. Creates a little fold in there so you get a bright line. But what I want to jump into right now, actually, before I break out test equipment and try doing the aligning of these, because as you can see, well, I don't have my my setup done just yet, like in my old workshop. So my RF generator is down there, my scopes over there, and the other equipment over there. So take me a while to get all that set up. But no, what I want to do before that is take a look at this chassis. The other one I want to do. So the ballast on this one, obviously you've seen better days. The metal sleeve on it fell off, and still possibly is good, but I want to replace that anyways. But what I'm curious about with this one is this one has been recapped, including at least one of these electrolytics, possibly all of them. And I think somebody clear-coated the chassis and possibly the speaker too. Added in some insulating material here. It's got some pretty nice tubes in it too, like the 6 SL7. Nice tongue sole. I believe it might be military grade WGT. I think that is about as good as a 6 SL7 gets. And it's been recapped. But a long time ago. Somebody put some effort into this. They used some quality caps. Pretty much all CDE, all these blue guys. I can hunt around for a date code to see exactly when it was done. And there's a marine cap in there. And again, that toggle switch BNC connector that was added is not going to anything. So what I'm proposing to do is try powering this thing up, see what it can do as is. Also, seleniums have been replaced with silicon rectifiers. So I figure, what the heck? There's a possibility this might actually work okay. The high voltage caps, they did get a little, well, they used one ceramic cap in there. And the others, the Cornell Dublier 2. I'm not sure exactly what kind of type of caps these are. Yeah, they've got a plastic outer jacket, but they might actually still be paper caps inside. That doesn't look promising. Just a wire going off to nothing. That goes up inside, I believe, the detector. That's going up inside this guy. So, well, I don't think I'll be receiving anything, quite possibly, with that being a problem, but I still would be able to get sound, or no, I wouldn't get sound, but I mean I could still get a raster. So, let's give this a try.